Hi everyone, my name is Felicia, and today we'll be doing a smart goal setting seminars. It'll be a short seminar, about 10-15 minutes, where we'll go over a little bit of theories and give you some activities to do to make sure that you are also practicing what we are sharing today. Alright, first of all, with the SMART goal, this is our agenda for today. So we'll go a little bit on the why we need goals. Framework for setting goals. Of course, the very, very important one is the SMART goals. It's very commonly used. And then we'll go a little bit through the Locke and Latham theories, where it looks at your motivations and interrelationship between different things that you can do to make SMART goals more effective. We'll go over a little bit on resolving challenge for setting goals and when do we need to adjust our goals. Now let's get started. So why do you need goals? So one analogy that we have is when you go on vacation. Do you have a plan for your vacation? Or do you just go book a flight? I'm gonna go to Paris today and we'll see how it goes. You have a plan. So goal is like getting the plan ready for your vacation, right? It's also involve a little bit of coordinations to make sure that you're aligning your intentions. So if you're going to Paris, what do you need to coordinate? You want to see the Eiffel Towers, for example. Abbreviations. So it takes something very complex broke it down into a very understandable kind of goals that you or anyone else know what you want to do. Also helps you prioritize your goals, meaning prioritize and calibrate, meaning you allocate that resources that you have on hand to make sure that you are spending enough resources on the goals that you want to do. Which one is more important? How many resources do you want to allocate? It also helps you evaluate, whether or not you're making that progress, whether or not you're achieving that goal. So if you go into Paris for Eiffel Towers, do you manage to see Eiffel Towers the way you wanted it to be? For example, you want to take a picture of the Eiffel Towers, your hand are holding it. Are you able to do it without anyone around you? So having that goal setting plan to make sure that you are aligned is very, very important. The next one we're looking at is the SMART goals. So SMART goals comes from 5 different acronyms, which is specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. We'll be looking a little bit on how to set that SMART goal in the next slide. So, SMART goal. Specific. You want to make sure that you are answering that 5 W questions. So that why, when, where, who, and what. What are you trying to do with this goal? And who is doing this goal? Where are you? Where is this applicable? When are we doing this goal? And why we're doing this goal, right? Think a little bit deeper. The clearer they are, the easier for you to achieve that goal. Measurable. Want to make sure you put in parameters that you know that you can achieve within a certain time frame or anything like that. So how many people? How many items? How do you actually know you reach your goal? What is your key indicator? In addition, you want to look at whether or not your goal is achievable based on your resource and capability. What resource do you need? Whose support do you need? Who can help you achieve that goal? It needs to be realistic. Very, very important. A lot of times we set goals that are not realistic. We need to consider whether or not we are getting the resources and time, whether or not it can be reachable. For example, if you want to be a prime minister the next day, is it achievable when you are just a student? Or you do not have support of other political team members. You're not even in the politics. Are you going to be able to be a prime minister the next day? The answer obviously is no. So you need to make sure your goals are realistic and time-bound, right? So if you want to be a prime minister in the next 10 years, for example, might be achievable, but you want to make sure you're setting that timeline. When do you want to achieve your goal? By when? And later we'll talk a little bit on setting smaller objectives to make sure you are reaching your bigger goals. The next one, we'll look at a little bit of lock and latem theory. This is an interesting theory because it's very, very true that it speaks of how we can achieve better success with goal settings. Success of goal setting is actually a relationship between all these different components. Clarity. How clear are you in terms of the goals for you? What challenges you have? We'll look a little bit on how to manage this challenge a little bit. Commitment. Are you motivated to do this? Feedback. You want to also review your the feedback for your goals to make sure if it's attainable or do you need to change anything. We'll talk a little bit later about that. Also, you want to make sure you also look at the task complexity. If the task is complex, obviously it will take a little while and longer to complete the task. Alright, let's move on. Moving to challenges. So challenges are common things when you have goals, right? So the top tips that I share today might be this. Make sure you gain support, the buy-in from that process owner, team members, or top management. And always choose the one that always says no to your idea. Because if you can break that no early on when you set that goals, you do not need to break that no during the time when we are sharing the goals. Helps you get that buy-in and clear out all these questions that the person have. It'll make the goal setting experience so much easier. Also, break down goals into smaller objectives. Put a time frame. If it's a 1 year goals, you want to break it down into a small objective. For example, you have every quarter you want to review this and make sure the steps are all done. Determining what resource you need. Determining how you measure your goal KPI. Do you want to set an example? I want to reach 100,000 sales by end of the month. How? I have a 12K 120K goals, sales goals, and I want to make sure I'm reaching 20K by each month. Or I want to make sure that I'm reaching 10 people per month to make sure I get the sales. Making sure that you have the accountability. Making sure that you are responsible for your own goals. The way to do it is basically getting an accountability party. What that means is to get someone that can hold you accountable for your own goals. So basically you take that person and tell the person, I really need your help. This is my goal and this is what I'm trying to do. Can you help checking in whether or not I have done this few objective or criteria within a specific time period? It'll take 5-10 minutes call per session to make sure your goals are meeting it. As a thank you, you might say to the person, hey, I love to hear about your goals too. Please share them with me. I will be accountability partner for each other. It's very, very helpful. The next one. A lot of times we talk about goal settings, but a lot of times it means goal setting for the entire team, the organizations, right? Goal setting usually is a team effort. But when we do it, we make it as if as a individual effort, right? You want to make sure you're also getting that feedback from the team, the organizations, different layers of the organization. Would this be aligned to the goals of the teams or the organization? Please make sure that you're also including everyone's thoughts. Consider them. Yes, you may not be able to accommodate everyone's thought, but please make sure that you also explain why the goals that you choose. is being chosen. Then they'll understand why theirs is not. There are lots of ideas, good ideas out there. Please make sure you're benefiting from it. Lastly, put in that formal accountability and resources for success. Help drive the success for the team and yourself and the organization. Next, we'll look at when do we need to change our goals. So our goal changes all the time. It's not like you set a goal today and it will be there until forever, right? You want to make sure you're also putting that effort to review your goals from time to time. That's when that feedback comes in. So for example, when the business environment shifts. So for example, COVID-19 is a big environment shift. Regulations, new government regulations. Your stakeholders are looking for different things. Your customers have different tastes. Basically, any changes. That is also include organizational change. So you might acquire a new company that have different capability of doing different things that may or may not align with your organization. Do you need to consider that acquisitions? Your staff might gain new skills. Or maybe your highly skilled staff left the company, organizations, and team. Now you have to restructure to make sure you are putting a little bit time to reconsider that goals. Or when you learn about different things about the products and services that your customer may want more or may want less. So you want to make sure you're also aligning that objectives and also your resources in accordance to your goals. And that's when it's very important when you break it down into smaller time frames and put it as an objectives. All right. So we're at the end of our presentation today. The next few slides, it's going to be a few activities that we're hoping for you to kind of experience yourself. And this is basically how we run our master's class speed training. It will be like 5, 10, 15 minutes training, followed by activities that we're going to facilitate live. As this session is not a live session, I'm just going to throw it out so that you can follow through at your own pace. All right. First activities. List the goal that you have last year and this year. What works and what doesn't. Very, very important. You're going to see the sheets. Write it down on a piece of paper. I'm going to put it on the wall. What works and what doesn't. What is the challenges? What you have done about it? What is the opportunities for you to improve? And based on what we learned today, you're gonna go choose one goal for next year. It can be a career, work, or personal. Use our SMART goal method to define your goals, and then take that lock and atom theory and put it into that SMART goal to see what do you need to be successful. Put in that draft. Make sure you throw in all the ideas that you may have on a piece of paper. Do not filter anything because that's coming straight from your brain. It's good. And later on, after you finish activities 1, activities 2, you want to take that piece of paper and take some time to filter out the goals and objectives and how do you want to incorporate that goal settings. Happy goal settings. Thank you for the presentation. So your time for this presentation. This is my contact information. So if you need more information, our website have loads and loads of information on how to improve your food safety cultures and manage your food safety system. We'll be putting up this webinar on our website as well shortly. Look forward to hear your feedback and hope you have a great 2021 ahead. We'll be running a few more sessions, so if you want to join in, please do on the link